Hey everybody, welcome to another session of Pokemon Tabletop RPG. Where we last left off, the majority of our gang were able to get rid of the ghosts from St. Augustine. They peacefully captured two Charcadets, which had combined and formed into a Ceruledge. And there was a certain phenomenon that made them the way that they were. At the same time, we did have Fun Time start his adventure. He was currently in the forests of Rainbow Springs. And for some reason, I can't get this to pull up. Bear with me, please. Final. What's up, Butter? Is my stream even working? Is it even working? Yeah, we are live. Butter will avenge his good boy Grievard. Wait for see who else is playing this session. But for now, Butter, since you're the first one here, I guess you will be the first to reap your rewards. After St. Augustine, you guys regroup back to the city of Ocala. We got to roll for what the weather will be today. $18. Let's see, the weather for that is enchanting. The night will have a full moon. Staying up late will not make you tired. So we will be having nighttime events. It will be nighttime in the game, and no one will get tired for staying up late. Hey, Austin, welcome in. Alright, so but Pasco asks the stranger wearing a gym badge about the first gym and how difficult it is. The stranger reacts and says, well, I don't know about the first gym, but the only gym I know about is the one here in Ocala. The gym leader's name is Leia. She is a professional photographer, and she likes horse Pokemon. As far as difficulty goes, well, she does have two legendary Pokemon, but she only uses them against trainers who have like maximum powered Pokemon. Otherwise, I guess you'll just have to see for yourself to find out. Pound cake is good, by the way. In the Discord, I'm going to go ahead and I do have a trainer card for that gym leader. I will go ahead and post that. From what you asked, from what Pasco asked, this is the information that he gets. That those are the Pokemon, 6 Pokemon that Leah has. Hey Vahid, I'm not drawing any Pokemon. I am running this Pokemon tabletop game. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role-playing game with dice. That's why I have this D20 up here. And based on the players play as a trainer, and they have Pokemon, and their decisions are they're at the mercy of the dice rolls and what stories I throw at them, so to speak. Pasco says he'll test it later when he's a bit more ready. The stranger does say, yeah, different gym leaders do have different rules, but Lea's is pretty straightforward. Anyway, you go back to the farm and tell your Pokemon about the Griffith story. Yep, it's in the Discord, the tragedy of the Griffith. Back at the farm. The professor greets you with open arms. He says he heard the good news. Pasco, you're the first one back, so what kind of troubles did you run into while you were there? The professor scratches his head. He's like, "Yeah, I figured Team Cross would be a problem. I mean, some people do look up to them as like the defenders, but I don't agree with their overzealous methods. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to found the PPC, because I do not want an organization like Team Cross to become the governing power of Pokemon, because they would definitely not run it fairly, and the ghost Pokemon and dark type Pokemon should not be excommunicated or executed, so to speak. Pesco reveals his Charcadet. The professor looks at it and says, "Oh, that's cool." Was it was the Charcadet the Pokemon that was causing the haunting? Oh, I see. So you got some good ghost Pokemon. The professor then goes and hands an envelope to Butter. The envelope contains $200 for a successful mission accomplished. This gives you $250 in your bag. Hey, Barnabas. Welcome in. How are you? Professor said it would have been more, but the tourist claims there was some damage to the property, as well as some of the items and artifacts turned up missing, so they couldn't afford to pay the full price. Not doing fantastic, lady. On a social media break, but figured you can't abandon this. Well, Barnabas, sorry. I understand you wholeheartedly on the whole social media break. There have been times that I've wanted to take like more than 1 week off of streaming. So I understand you have to be in a certain mentality to like go through all of that. But I do appreciate you taking your time to spend it here with us. Pascal, are you leaving or was that for the you're going to a store? What's the tech store? Are you looking for a TM? Is that what you're looking for? A smartphone. And what's wrong with the phone? How can I help you, sir? The tech here has a T-Mobile phone for $500. Did you break your phone? Didn't you throw it in the last stream? I think you did. The clerk sees your backpack and says, "Oh, you're part of the PPC. I'm sure your professor could hook you up with a new phone or something's wrong with it." So Barnabas, you're at the city of Ocala. You're in the central hub right now. Right, Butter went back to there as well. Oh, congratulations, Austin. Well, it's nighttime. This is in Vegas, so there aren't many people out. You want to explore a bit? Where would you like to explore? Are you exploring the city? Are you exploring one of the places in the Discord? All right, I'll pull up your options. This is where you're now. Your options are Kirby Farm, the Ash Fields, Rainbow Springs State Park that has trails, but the entry fee is $5 per person. It's got the River Trail and the Forest Trail. Port Jefferson you can't get to because you don't have access via sea or air. Daytona Beach, it's a coastal city. Cedar Lakes, the paths might be flooded depending on the weather. It's $10 a person. There's Apollo Park, a small town park where trainers gather to meet, battle, trade, and play with their Pokemon. Festivals and events are common. Those are your options. For those of you who weren't here, here's the gym leader's trainer card. Rainbow Springs, the place would be sick at nighttime. Barnabas heads back to Kirby Farms. Let us roll for Pasco going to Rainbow Springs. Pasco, your charisma is 220. All right. Well, it looks like the person at the gate forgot to lock the gate, and the gate is wide open. You do not have to pay an entry fee, normally the park would be closed at night, but they forgot to close the gate, so you can access this place at night. Is the gate shiny? No, no shiny gate. That was just a joke. That was funny though. As far as Barnabas goes, I just ripped my toenail. The professor greets Barnabas. He asks, "So, how was your trip to St. Augustine? Uh, how was the castle? How are the ghost Pokemon? Did you run into any issues?" And he hands you an envelope with $200 in it for a job well done. Professor said it would have been more, but there were missing artifacts and there was some collateral damage, but $200 was the payment. You now have $210 in your bag. And you still have one Pokeball and one potion. It was okay. Pascal was definitely good the whole time, and don't ask any questions. President just strikes. Hey, what you guys do, that's none of my business. The professor asks, what caused the haunting in the first place? Hey, Monk, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. They were stale butter. While you guys are talking at the farm, there's an eerie howl outside the farm. I think you mean a perception check, Butter. Um, First of all, are you going down the river route or the forest route? Softy? I assume you mean the river route? Oh, or you tried to say spooky. All right, let's do your perception check. 12 plus your wisdom is 2. So that's 14. So even though it's nighttime, it's a full moon. You can see everything. Uh, you see in front of you Morlul. Let's find out its nature. 13. That is a quiet nature. All right, let's do a charisma check for you. 19 plus that. All right. The Marlow turns around at you, eyeing you curiously, and then accepts the Pokemon food and happily munches on it. However, this is the last amount of Pokemon food that you have. Oh, where did the screen go? Get back up there. All right, so you're gonna just let the Morlo just do its thing. After it finishes the food, you keep walking down the forest. Okay, we'll go back to Barnabas. Barnabas, the weather, it's nighttime, but it's a full moon. So you can see everything. Take it easy, Austin. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the kind words towards the other viewers and friends. And while we wait for Barnabas's decision, we'll continue with you, Butter. So the next part of the forest it's like very autumn looking. There's a bunch of pine needles and copper looking leaves all over the ground. A lot of the trees don't have leaves on them anymore. So let's do another roll for you. 9, 10. Now you see a wild Nincada perched on a tree. Spawn this thing. 13. Another quiet nature. That's okay, Barnabas. When Barnabas walks out to the barn, out in the field, he can see a bunch of wild Nimpups. This is a fan-made Pokemon that I created myself. It's a coyote with like sheep's wool. And they are trying to get over the fence, and they are after the professor's livestock. So Pasco sees a quiet Nincada, and Barnabas sees several of the Nimpups running around outside the field. So anytime you guys go to the farm, your Pokemon will automatically be healed. If you go to the farm or you're in a city, your Pokemon will automatically be healed. So going to the farm, going to Ocala, going to Daytona, going to St. Augustine, as long as you're not in like a dungeon or a castle or anything, your Pokemon will be healed there. Collect some berries from nearby bush and pass them to Nikata. Let's see if you actually do collect some berries. 10. You find 2 oran berries. And you offer to feed them to the Nikata. The Ninkata accepts 1 of your oran berries and happily eats it. Yes, your Pokemon are fully healed as well, Pasco. You have 1 oran berry in your inventory. Oran berry heals 10 HP. Keep going down the path. The next path in the forest kind of intersects with the river. So some parts of the forest are swampy from whenever the river's water rise and gets the ground wet. There you have ran into a wild Wooper. The regular version. Let's roll for the Wooper. Another 10. Modest. Modest Wooper. Wooper is looking at the moon, happily jumping around. Let's see if the Wooper accepts. Wooper looks at the berry curiously and then grabs it and eats the berry. The orange berry has been removed from your inventory. Meanwhile, back at the farm, the professor joins Barnabas. The professor asks Barnabas if he's willing to do a double battle with him to help fight off the Nimpups. Whooper smiles back at you with berry juice dripping from his mouth. The Whooper happily accepts your company and continues to watch the stars with you. Whooper just replies with "Whoopa" in agreement. While you guys watch the stars, we are going to do Barnabas's and Professor Redwood are in a double battle now, and they are fighting 2 wild Nimpups. One Nimpup is bold. The other Nimpup is hasty. Pull Nimpup back up. Hey H. It's alright, I was a little late starting myself. Nothing major has happened yet. Um, Pasco's exploring Rainbow Springs at night. The weather is nighttime, but it's a full moon, so you can see everything. And Barnabas is at the farm. Professor Redwood and Barnabas are fighting off a pack of wild nimpup. They are trying to break into the field to prey on more milk tank. HK, you are currently in the city of Ocala, returning from your trip in St. Augustine. I have that all pictured in my head, Pasco. Professor Redwood sends out Torterra. Professor's Torterra is sassy. Barnabas sends out his shiny Tailo. Oh, the professor says, congratulations on getting a shiny Pokemon. I've heard of that phenomenon. Very rare indeed. Good job for getting one. And Torterra goes first. Since you're using a bird, I can comfortably have the Torterra use Earthquake so it won't hurt your bird. So the professor uses Earthquake, KOing both of the Nimpups. Let's just check on the accuracy for the first one. Hits. Accuracy for the second one. It hits. The Torterra KOs both Nimpups. Your Tailo levels up. Professor Wedwood gets a bead of sweat down the side of his face and apologizes. Oh, sorry, Barnabas. Well, there's a few more left, so I'll try not to KO it next time. But your Tailo has moved on to level 3. Its speed automatically goes up to 8. What stat would you like to increase besides special attack? Butter, you have 1 Pokeball and 1 Premier Ball left. Okay, Shiny Tailo attack is now 7. We're going to move on to H. You'd like to hurry back and help after you buy more balls. H, you have 1 Pokeball, 1 Premier Ball, and $30 in your inventory. You have 1 Pokeball and 1 Premier Ball. You need a 15 or higher for the Wooper to accept. Congratulations, Wooper headbutts the Pokeball. Butter, what Pokeball are you offering to it? Your last Pokeball or your Premier Ball? Regular Pokeball. Alright. Regular Pokeballs, I believe, are I think they're $10 a piece. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, Pokeballs are $10 a piece. They're $10 a piece, and H, your money. I don't know if I said that or not. $30 is how much you have. Butter, you currently have the most Pokemon. You have your starter Joy Boy, you got Goober the Venipede, and you got Fart the second Yamask, and you have Wooper. The Wooper is level 3. Do you want to give a nickname to the Wooper? H has 2 balls. Don't take that out of context. Or H is buying 2 Pokeballs, which will bring him up to a total of 3 Pokeballs, 1 Premier Ball. And you have $10 left. Butter's naming it Star. I have to see if it's male or female. Oh, wrong one. It is a female. Female Wooper named Star. Kind of want to train a Wooper now in Scarlet and name it Star. Oh yeah, I forgot the Charcadet as well. So I think that's 6 Pokemon now. Poliwag, Venipede, Yamask, Wooper, Charcadet. Yep, I accidentally read over the Charcadet, so you are absolutely right, H. Thanks for pointing that out. It was a modest nature. All right, we're gonna go back to Barnabas. 2 more of the Nimpups. Mild and Hardy. Whoops. Professor's Torterra uses Crunch on the Hardy Nimpup. It hits. The Nimpup is literally like KO'd, killed. It is Barnabas's turn if Tailo is still being used. Use Peck on the other. Minimal damage. The Nimpup goes to use Tackle on Tailo. Hits. Minimal damage. Tailo has 10 HP left out of 12. The Professor skips his turn. It's back to Tailo's turn. Peck again. Gotcha. Hits. Minimal damage. Let's pull up who you're fighting. The Nimpup. Nimpup uses tackle. Succeeds. Minimal damage. The Talo has 8 out of 12 HP. Professor throws Talo an Oranberry, healing Talo back to full health. Peck. Succeeds. Minimal damage. Oops. Where's my dice? Nimpup uses tackle. Because of the hustle ability, tackle misses. Nimpup's typing is normal. The professor skips his turn. Peck. Succeeds. Basic damage. The Nimpup is starting to limp a little bit. I think it would make a great anime. Nimpup uses tackle on Talo. Critical hit. The Talo goes to 7 out of 12 HP. 5 damage. Pasco, that would be amazing. Professor throws another Oranberry to the Talo. Talo's back to full health. Peck. Good damage. The Nimpup yipes. The professor says, oh, I think now would be a good time to try to catch it. Oh, that's awesome, H. All right, this is your only Pokeball left. It is a catch rate of 65. 11. 24. 37. 57. Oh boy. Oh no. 1 over. The ball shakes 3 times, but then the Nimpup busts out. That was your last Pokeball, Barnabas. The Nimpup goes to use tackle on the Talo. Because of hustle, the ability misses. The professor goes to throw a Pokeball. Oops. 7, 16, 10, 41, 48. The professor successfully catches the Nimpup. Barb asks the professor to kill this part. The professor catches the Nimpup, and then he hands the ball over to Barnabas. If you would like to, I know you wanted this Pokemon a lot. Thanks for helping me defend the farm tonight. This will be your reward. Let's roll to see the Nimpup's gender. It's a boy. It's a boy! That is true, Barnabas. That is true. is. All right. The Nimpup is level 4. Do you want to give it a nickname? Oh yeah, I just read that. Floof. Bold nature, so that's defense up, attack down. And he has the ability Hustle. What Hustle does in the game, his physical attacks will do more damage, but the accuracy of his moves is reduced by 5. So if a move has an accuracy check of 1, if he rolls a 5 or less, as we saw, the move will miss instead of a regular 1. But his attacks do more damage. He currently has Tackle and Growl. He has 16 HP, 9 attack, 6 defense, 4 special attack, 5 special defense, and 5 speed. The rest of the Nimpup run away back into the forest behind the farm. Okay, we're going to go to H now. H is returning to the farm. As H returns to the farm, he sees the retreating Nimpup. The professor waves at H and asks him to come inside. The next part of the forest for Butter is it's still kind of like swampy grass, tall grass around, but the forest is starting to get more dense. There are trees that have been fallen over from a storm. One of them got struck by lightning when it was the thunder weather, and it is blocking the path. So a tree is blocking the path, and the surrounding trees will not let you go around it. You need a combined strength of 10 or higher to move the log. You need a Pokemon with either strength, cut, or a fire move. Other moves could work as well. H goes inside. The professor heals all of H's Pokemon. Barnabas, all your Pokemon are fully healed. The professor hands H an envelope with $200 in it. This is your payment for completing your first mission. So you have $210 now in your inventory, H, as far as your money goes. And it would have been more, but the tourist company reported there was some collateral damage to the structure, to some of the artifacts, and some of the artifacts were missing from the site. As far as Butter's Charcutet goes, or I should say Pasco's Charcutet. Right now, Charcadet is level 3, and the moves that he knows is Ember, Leer, and Astonish. The Charcadet attempts to use Ember on the log. However, the wood is still soaking wet, and the fire is too small to put out. Or I should say, the fire is too small to burn the wet wood, is what I meant to say. Steve! Perception check from Butter. 12. You hear some scraping on the log. I want to go back to the Pokemon. There we go. On that log is a scatterbug. Good night, Vahid. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for playing. Or, sorry, thanks for watching. It's a rash scatterbug. Yes, impressed if all the tasks on the farm have been done. Professor said yes. Everything has been done for the day. He knows now that the Nimpup have been the ones responsible for attacking the livestock at night. He originally thought the bird Pokemon were the problem, but it seems to be that from the milk tank's carcass, it wasn't a pecking that did. Something with two sharp fangs had drained the uh, milk tank of its blood. He turns and looks at Barnabas and says he has a feeling that it has to do with the Nimpup. Possibly Nimpup has an evolution that is the culprit. So if you are able to get your Nimpup to evolve, he would love to investigate to see if that is the true culprit. You move it off the log and send out your mask. Dash over, hover, see if anything on the other side could help. You are attempting to move the scatterbug. While attempting to move, try to move the scatterbug. A wild spoopa attacks you for messing with one of its kind. Let's roll 19. The spoopa is hasty, speed up, defense down. The spoopa uses stun spore on Pasco. If it's a 3 or higher, Pasco gets paralyzed. Pasco, you are paralyzed. So whenever it's your turn, you might get a jolt of paralysis, and your turn will be skipped. You also are gonna have problems as far as whenever you're rolling. All your rolls will be cut in half. This does not count when you're trying to catch Pokemon. But your perception checks are cut in half. Your strength checks, dexterity checks are cut in half. All your stat rolls are cut in half until your paralysis is cured. Yeah, not true paralysis. You can still move, but your body feels numb and you're not at your full capacity. H asked if you could go somewhere for a little bit. You think you need to clear your head? Oh, you can definitely go anywhere you want. It's a full moon out tonight. Um, so enjoy the rest of your day off. The professor says that there will be a festival at Apollo Park the next day, which will be the next stream session and won't happen tonight. Um, it's pretty much a meet and greet of various Pokemon trainers, Pokemon organizations. There's going to be shop vendors there. There are going to be sponsors there. So the professor says this will be a good way for the PPC to advertise itself and possibly earn more jobs and missions from people all over the place. The Spoopa already attacked you, Butter, so you are in combat with it. Its silk coat is like spiking out in aggression. The Spoopa is pretty much trying to tell you to back off. Okay, Barnabas, you are back in the city of Ocala. The Pokeballs are $10 a piece. Charcadet is still out, so we'll have you stick with Charcadet, and it is Charcadet's turn. Charcadet has Ember, Astonish, and I think it was Growl or Leer. Yeah, Ember, Leer, and Astonish. You use Ember. Okay, it is super effective. It hits. Let's see. If we get a 1, it will burn. No burn. Spoopa uses tackle on Charcadet, but because it's a ghost, it is unaffected. Back to Charcadet. Barnabas would require or will buy 10 Pokeballs. That is $100. You now have $110 left in your inventory and 10 Pokeballs. Use Ember again. Whoop. Ember misses. The Spoopa realizes that it can't do any damaging moves on the Charcadet, so it attempts to flee. The Spoopa successfully flees the battle. H decides to walk around the farm if the professor doesn't mind. The professor does not mind indeed. He says all parts of the farm you guys can use at your leisure at any time. Let's see what H sees. You can hear and see a wild Cricketop by a nearby tree. It's Cricketot's nature 8 is lax. The Cricketot is singing a relaxing melody. Yep, you are still facing thy log. The Yamask goes to find something and comes back with a stick. The stick can't do anything to the log. The Cricketot eyes H and continues his Moonlight Sonata. H starts to remember his life before the incident. Tragic backstories, man. Nope, the knight helmet only can be worn by you and gives your head some armor protection, but it cannot be used to move or break the log. Backstory will be posted in Discord at some point. Gotcha. Whooper does not know dig, so the Whooper does not cannot follow the command. It can only kick like a foot's worth of dirt, but not enough to where it can actually go through the topsoil. Charcadet can only use Ember, and the Ember only will just disintegrates when it hits the ground. It's not enough to make lava. Barnabas. Another howl pierces the night sky that both can be heard at the farm, and Pasco hears it too. H asks the cricket tot if he wants to join his team, saying if you join, your music could be heard by a lot more people if you want to. Let's look at the charisma for H. H's charisma is 2. So the compelling request, you need a 12 or higher for Cricket Tot to join you. The Cricket Tot thinks to itself for a minute and then bows to you, waiting for you to offer a Pokeball to join. Hey, Freeze. We have you right now. You're at the city of Ocala. Pretty much everybody's doing their own thing. It's nighttime. The main story hasn't progressed. There's a full moon out. Some of the Nimpup, the coyote Pokemon that I made, were attacking, but the professor and Barnabas fought them off. Meanwhile, Pasco is in the Rainbow Springs Forest. He is currently at an impasse because there's a log in the way that he's having trouble trying to either get rid of. And H is at the farm exploring. Hey, it's the pad. Wow! That's my horrible goat call. Whoa! Okay, H is offering a regular Pokeball. You have 2 Pokeballs left. And the relaxed Kricketot joins your team. It is level 3. Relaxed. See if it's a male or female. It is a male. Would you like to give the Kricketot a nickname? The pad, we are doing like a Pokemon RPG, which is like Dungeons and Dragons, but with Pokemon. I am having. This is a very fun group to play with. I enjoy them a lot. I enjoy their company. I enjoy their jokes and interaction. I couldn't do this without them. So these are good people. Thank you for coming in and showing your support as well. All right, no nickname right now. No problem. Let's see what moves the Cricket Tot has. We got Tackle and Growl. HP is 11. Attack is 4. Defense is 5. Special attack is 5. Special defense is 6. Speed is 5. Oh, I forgot to do Whooper's stats. Whooper's HP is 15. Attack is 4. Defense is 6. Special attack is 6. Special defense is 5. Speed is 5. Pasco sits leaning on the log, feeling beaten and thinking of heading back, then sends out all my Pokemon and asks if they have any ideas. Joy Boy lightly uses Water Gun on Pasco to keep him hydrated because he's been walking a lot at night. So that's all Joy Boy can do right now. Goober, the Venipede, is squirming all over the log, just trying to explore it, but doesn't come up with any solution to how to move it. He's too little. It is too tall to climb. There's no way to go over it. One person cannot climb over it. Fart the second picks up the stick that he found and is writing in the dirt. He is drawing stick figures, and he draws 4 stick figures next to each other as best as a Pokemon can. Star just sits down and looks at the sky with her mouth wide open. Whoopar. And Charcadet is mimicking Pasco sitting down. Kind of sad that it could not help out its trainer in this obstacle. H smiles a little, slightly teary-eyed as he gains a new party member. The Umask uses his ghostly hands to say, he nods, but then he flexes using his ghostly hands to reproduce muscles, and then shrugs. We're going to be going for 30 more minutes before we will end tonight's stream. Fart the second repeats his action by flexing the muscles and then nodding his mask slowly. Fart the second with his left arm makes a big muscle and then does a thumb up. With his right arm, he makes his arm look like a deflated arm and does a thumbs down. It's okay, Freeze. Right now you're in the city of Ocala. You have returned with the gang from St. Augustine. You and your Charmander Danny. Uh, Danny's fully healed. You have 5 Pokeballs and 2 potions, $20. So you're in the city of Ocala. You can go to the farm where the professor is. Barnabas is chilling out uh, at the farm with H. H hurries, also stops by to tell the Professor Redwood and Barnabas trying to calm down a little on his way, also hoping the other two don't notice the tears. Professor says he can't leave the farm. He always has to be there. Professor also says he knows that place is usually closed at night, so he wonders how Butter got it. He wonders how Pasco got in there. Uh-oh, the stream's lagging. Let me check something. All right, we might just end here then. All of Pasco's Pokemon hugged him. Right, before the stream crashes, if it is, we're just going to go ahead and end here. Pasco, when you return, you're at the log. Okay, then we'll keep going. If it's not crashing, then we'll keep going. All right, good, good, good. Okay, we can still play for 30 more minutes. So H is currently MIA. Well, he's at the farm, so he's away, so he's back just resting and recovering with his Pokemon. So it's down to Freeze, it's down to Pasco and Barnabas. All right, who's doing what? All right, you can see his position as you're going through. You do see there's a Morlull. The Morlull is still at the forest entrance. And then you also see a Nincada on a tree in the second part of the forest. The third part of the forest is a little bit swampy. That's where H caught the Wooper star, or that's where Pasco caught the Wooper star. And then finally you will arrive, and that's where you see Pasco sitting back to the log, and all of his Pokemon are trying to comfort him. And Star the Wooper is just staring at the moon with her mouth wide open and her eyes all uh, large and glowing. Freeze, you see the same Pokemon. You walk by, you see the Nincada, you see the Morlull, and then eventually you also run into Pasco and the gang. So you're all there, you're all in front of the log. The log was from a large oak tree that got struck by lightning a couple days ago from the lightning storm. Part the second uh, wisps around happily. The Nimpup happily rolls over, panting. Okay, Barnabas. You have a strength of 0, so unfortunately, you're not pushing this log. Your body is too weak and frail to push this log. Freeze, you have a strength of 2, and Pasco's strength is 2. That is a strength of 4. That is still not large enough to push the log. Fart the second points at the other player's Pokeballs. Barnabas, you send out Noodle, the Dratini, who can't really push the log. He just kind of wraps over it. Talos pecking at the log, just kind of like making splinters go all over the place. Saber, the Hone Edge, is cutting into the log. And of course, the Nimpup, Floof, is tackling it. Noodle is here for emotional support. All of Pasco's Pokemon also are attacking the log. Freeze has Charmander come out. Danny. The log is shifting and has become weaker. Saber can cut through, but at the cost of it knocking itself out to do so. Saber looks at Barnabas for confirmation. Saber can cut through the log, but Saber will KO itself in the process. Saber blinks a few times and kind of bows to you, ready for your order. All right, the log is successfully cut in half, making it easier to move. Everybody's combined efforts move both logs to the sides. Each log sinks into the swampy ground, and the path has been cleared. Saber is now KO'd. Barnabas, you level up to level 3. Which one of your stats would you like to increase? Strength. All right, you now have a strength of 1. Freeze moves up to level 2. Freeze, which one of your stats would you like to increase? And Pasco levels up to level 3. Pasco, what stat would you like to level up? Charisma. You now have a charisma of 3. That's okay. I knew what you were talking about. The Z is supposed to be an S, but otherwise you spelled it correctly. Strength, dexterity, wisdom, intelligence, constitution, and charisma. Strength is used just like we did here. The higher the strength, if ever you have to physically move an object or lift something, strength will help you do that. The higher the strength, the heavier stuff you can lift. Dexterity is for escaping purposes. Wisdom is for getting ideas and information in an area, especially when you're looking around to see if there's any Pokemon or what clues. Charisma is how you deal with other people. Constitution is your max HP, and intelligence is like deciphering other languages or figuring out certain puzzles. All right, you chose wisdom. You now have a wisdom of 3. Welcome back, H. H, you are still at the farm. Everyone else, Pasco went back to the farm to get his Pokemon healed. Oh, sorry, Barnabas was. My bad. H is at the farm. Freeze and Pasco are in the forest. The next part of the forest is filled with all sorts of plants that are blooming in the moonlight. There's like purple violets, white orchids, glowing iridescent mushrooms, pink mushrooms. The grass is very tall as well. It is a lush area. Perception check. You suddenly feel your leg itching, and when you look down, there is a wild Joltik. Another quiet Pokemon. Yep, Joltik starts off as a tick and then evolves into a tarantula. Yeah, we're going to be ending in 15 minutes, H, but we can at least introduce your other character for the final moments of the stream. The Joltik drains 1 HP from Pasco. Pasco, you have 11 out of 12 HP remaining. Alright, let's do a charisma check. The Joltik just looks at Pasco and then continues to drain more blood. You now have 10 out of 12 HP left, Pasco. Alright, Goober the Venipede. The Joltik does not listen, so Goober goes to use his Poison Sting on the Joltik. Poison Sting hits. The Joltik is not poisoned, but it was enough force for the Joltik to let go of your leg. The Joltik goes to retreat. The Joltik bounces away almost at the speed of light. No problem, Barnabas. Again, I appreciate you taking a break from your break of social media to come spend time with us. I know how much it could be mentally and physically. So it's always great to have you aboard here. And if you ever want to talk about anything, I know you said you don't have Discord anymore. Uh, but if you choose to come back, you're more than welcome to come back to it. And I do hope that you have a good rest of your day / week / month / year. And we'll see you next time. Goober is swirling around your legs just to check that you don't have any other Joltik on you, and then confirms that you're clear. Can you call back the others? I want to show you all something. Yep, we do have time to explore where you're at, Freeze. Currently, you're where the log was. If you go forward, you'll go into the glen where Pasco is. If you go back, there's the swampy part of the forest. There's the autumn part of the forest, and then there's the forest entrance. So whichever one you'd like to explore, those are your immediate options. A Pokemon nest that's empty? Well, let's see. There is a Pokemon egg under the nest. Somehow the nest fell through, and there is an egg there. Freeze goes back to the swampy part of the forest. Just to let you know, if you do take the egg, it counts as a Pokemon slot, and you'll be fully slotted, and you won't be able to catch any more Pokemon while you got the full 6. Goober has a worried look on his face and shakes his head left and right. Bart the Second shrugs. Star is still distracted by the night sky. Charcadet says no. Freeze at the swampy part of the forest. You hear something go, and you see a wild Totodile. $19. That is a hasty nature. Totodile is jumping around playfully, biting different branches, and just having a good time with itself. You hear some yips in the distance. They sound like howls, but they're not as aggressive. And you notice that you can almost, there's a bright sunrise beginning to crest over the horizon. Okay, Freeze, you need a 18 or higher to pull this off. 6. The Totodile bites the Pokeball and crushes it in his jaws. You lose 1 Pokeball. You have 4 Pokeballs left, Freeze. Danny uses Scratch on the Totodile. It hits. Maximum damage. Totodile goes to Scratch back. Decent damage. Danny has 15 HP left out of 18. The egg still looks fresh. It has no cracks in it whatsoever. Back to Danny's turn. Yes, the forest path does continue. All right, I gotta do a paralysis check for Pasco. Unfortunately, you get a jolt of paralysis, which causes you to drop all your Pokemon. But they all land on their feet. They look at you with a worried look to see if you're okay. Unfortunately, you cannot go for the rest of this stream. You can't go any further because we're going to be ending. We're going to finish the battle with Totodile versus Danny's Charmander. And then once that's over, we will be ending the stream. Okay, well, Star landed on her feet, so she's good. But the paralysis stopped you from continuing. Yeah, for you, Pasco, it will be sunrise unless we get another day of darkness, another day of night. Yeah, I think we will, because because when you said you have them decide to stay at the farm, that you weren't going to be introducing her tonight. But next stream we'll definitely do that. We'll have Haley come, and Haley will begin her journey instead of H for his turn, since H is back at the farm. Okay, Freeze, so it is Danny's turn. Do you scratch or leer? And if your Wi-Fi is messing up, then we'll just, the next time we play, you'll just be in the middle of that battle with the Totodile. Actually, you'll wait a little longer to introduce her. Okay, no worries. Alright, then we're just gonna wrap it up here because Freeze is having Wi-Fi issues. Like I said, Freeze, if you're still watching or if you watch this later, the next time you continue, we have you battling the Totodile. Pasco will continue in the Forest Glen. The paralysis kept you from going further in the forest for your turn. You will still be paralyzed and until you either use a paralysis heal or a full heal, or you seek help from like a professor or somebody who can, a nurse or somebody who can heal the paralysis. H will be back at the farm. Barnabas will be back at the farm. And so on and so forth. Thanks again for playing tonight, guys. I think we have enough to go on a raid. It says I have 4 watching. Let's go raid Devil Fruit Joe. I don't think we've ever raided him before. Yeah, he's playing Pokemon Red, Radical Red. I've never heard of it, so let's check it out. Here's his link. Oh, that's funny. He just caught a Spoopa, and we had Spoopa in our campaign tonight. Here's the link. Let's just give him a small raid. Yep, as H said, use the hashtag Swamp Swarm. Let's go say hello, introduce ourselves. Like I said, I've never raided him. I only know him because he was part of a crew battle with Slick Jib. So this is the first time I've seen him stream anything Pokemon related. Let's go say hello. The stream will be ending now. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for some Smash and next week as we continue this fun journey.